Between the Netherlands and Germany you have many railway lines, but there's one connection that's not a railway line, but a bus and a train. And this summer it might be more interesting to know about this railway line than you might think at first. Even though on a very regional scale this kind of line makes sense. I'll tell you all about this in the video from Nijmegen in the Netherlands to Düsseldorf in Germany via Kleve. Join me on this very regional connection from Nijmegen in the Netherlands to Kleve in Germany. The bus continues to Emmerich, but we get out in Kleve and take a regional train from there to Düsseldorf. I'll tell you more about this in the video. For now, let's get this video on the road and on the track, and let's roll the intro. Earlier that morning I took a train from my hometown of The Hague via Utrecht to Nijmegen. This train also calls it Arnhem, from where on you find very good regional connections to Düsseldorf as well. But we'll continue to Nijmegen today. Well, before I explain a little bit more, let me show you the map of the railroad lines and also the international lines between the Netherlands and Germany. This here is the railroad line that's crossing the border from the Netherlands into Germany via Arnhem, what is actually the most popular railroad line. A little bit down south, here at Venlo, you find another really popular connection that's mainly popular for regional connections, but at the moment the long distance ICE trains will be diverted via another route. They will mainly cross the border over here. And a part of this railroad line is single track, so there's not that much capacity. Then you also find other crossings, and I will only focus on the long distance crossings. Over here you have the railroad line near Hengelo that is mainly being used for the international trains towards Berlin from the Netherlands, so Amsterdam-Berlin. Even though on that line you also find a regional train. And with so many regional connections even close to Nijmegen, why do I want to cover this specific connection? Well, long story short, there will be a lot of improvements on the railroad lines between the Netherlands and Germany. However, these improvements have not been done from one day to the next day. There will be a lot more capacity, and especially on the Arnhem corridor to Düsseldorf. Here also a freight line is coming together, so basically two railway lines are coming together here and go into Germany. And there are really a lot of freight trains between the Netherlands and Germany. While these construction works are happening, there will be a lot of changes on the timetables and many trains will be cancelled. For example, the route between Venlo and Düsseldorf might have a reduced service with only trains every 2 hours instead of every hour, and on some times of the day there might also be extra buses. But that's a very popular regional connection. Also, there will be several time frames that the local train between Arnhem and Düsseldorf is not operating. Apart from that, ICE trains might be diverted via other routes, but in the summertime you need a reservation for those trains as well. And at last, in the summertime there will also be construction works that will impact the intercity service between the Netherlands and Berlin. They will also have another route, so there's just a whole lot going on. And apart from that, a seat reservation is obligated for the long distance trains in this summer. And that's why I really feel the need to tell you about this specific connection. Keep in mind, for regional trains within Germany and also domestic trains within the Netherlands, the timetable is pretty sure about 10 days prior departure. Of course, there might be some last minute changes due to unexpected circumstances, but that's very rare. Basically what I'm saying, just check your timetable before you go on a longer railway journey. So therefore I want to tell you about this connection, because simply if there are construction works, this might be a very good connection instead of the other connections. And hopefully I can make some people their railway journey a bit more pleasant. For now let's focus on how I experienced this journey by bus and regional train from Nijmegen via Kleve to Düsseldorf. I might be saying Kleve in English, but the German name is Kleve and the Dutch name is Kleve. I arrived in Nijmegen with a Dutch domestic intercity train. Even though Nijmegen is not really a terminal station, you do find quite some trains that do terminate here. Screens with information about departing trains are located at several spots at this station. The platform where I'm at right now hosts 2 tracks. However, this is really a long platform, and therefore you can basically say that these are 4 tracks. They're divided in sections as well. And actually quite some trains use these tracks for, well, kind of a terminal track. From and to this platform you will find escalators, elevator and obviously also stairs. Also information about departing trains from what platform have been given crystal clear within this tunnel. At the front of the railway station building there is 1 platform that will host 2 tracks. Well, also 1 track is very long and also is divided in A and B. So if you look at it like that, you will find 3 tracks. Track 1A, track 1B and track 35. Yeah, they added that later on. It's easier to give that a strange number than just rename all the tracks near this station. Nijmegen railway station is being served by 2 companies. NS, what is the Dutch state-owned railway company and is mainly for long distance trains, and Arriva, what is for regional trains within Limburg. For the regional trains of the province Limburg in the Netherlands, this is the northernmost station that's being served by these trains. So this is the terminal station for those trains as well. If you're traveling with a smart card or even with a contactless payment card within the Netherlands, you need to touch in and out at the specific railway companies. And if you switch between these companies, you can do that here on the right. Just make sure you do this correctly, because otherwise you might need to pay extra for tickets. And I don't want that to happen to you. Nijmegen is also being served by the most international domestic intercity train within the Netherlands. For international passengers, the Netherlands is not really a country where you travel through, but if you do so, you probably do this on board of this train between Zwolle and Roosendaal. At platform 1, I also noticed some lockers. Within this station there are some offline timetables as well, and also for spots you find the map of the domestic trains within the Netherlands. You find some international routes, but as you can see, our connection today is not listed. Once again, apart from that, information about departing trains has been given crystal clear at several screens at the station. And also, if you are at the specific platforms, there are clear screens that will host route information about the first upcoming departure. If you go through the gates here and you're traveling with a smart card or contactless payment card, just make sure you touch out at the right company, NS or Arriva. If you're good in playing the piano, you find a public piano over here as well. And there are quite a lot of shops around the entrance to the tracks. There's a supermarket, a public toilet where I also went to because I will be for 45 minutes on a bus and there's no toilet over there, so better safe than sorry. A flower shop, an Italian cuisine shop and a Starbucks. I mean, you do have quite a lot to choose from. And also at the front of the railway station there are tons of shops. Over here you find a snack bar, a drugstore, a bookshop, a bakery and also an information point for the buses. Even though it's not really needed, a map of the station is also located over here. This information point actually looks like an old information and ticket point for the trains. Even though it was closed when I was here on a Sunday morning. There's no staffed ticket counter for train tickets though, but there is staff available to assist you if needed. At the front, a little bit more at the side, there's a taxi stand, and I also noticed this Asian restaurant. And next to that there was something that was mentioning Arriva. I think it's mainly a kind of pause area for the staff. I don't know, if you know this, let me know in the comments. And here on my left side there's a huge parking spot for bikes, but if you watch this video you probably won't arrive here by bike. Nijmegen has a population of almost 180,000 people. It's a student city and it's a city in the Netherlands. Well, this all makes it quite obvious why there are so many spots to park your bike over here. The bike is a very popular way of transportation within the Netherlands. Right next to the station I noticed this hotel, so if you want to stay here overnight you can do so, although it seems like this had known better days. Now let's head to the other side of the station where we actually need to be. What I really like about lots of railway stations within the Netherlands, you can tap drinking water to fill up your bottle, so no need to buy plastic bottles and plastic waste. Tap water in the Netherlands is pretty often at least the same quality as official spring water, so yeah, why even spend money on spring water if you can just refill your bottles? Now let's move to the bus area where we also take our bus from. The bus was already listed at the general departure screen. There's a kind of waiting area over here, and these are the bus platforms. I hope you like this video so far. If you do so, or if it's a helpful video to you, please give me a thumbs up, I really appreciate that. If you have questions, feedback, comments, feel free to leave a comment. Even if you just want to say hello, feel free to do so. And if you like to see more trip reports about more sustainable ways of transportation, the main focus for this channel is long distance and or international traveling, then hit that subscribe button if you haven't done this already. For now, let's discover this train. Well, I was a little bit too enthusiastic when I recorded that part. First, let's take a closer look on our route for today. We take a bus from Nijmegen in the Netherlands to Kleve in Germany. From there on, we catch a regional train to Düsseldorf in Germany. From Düsseldorf you find lots of connections on many long distance trains, both domestically and also international. And also lots of regional trains, obviously. The bus today departed from bus platform L, like Leo. This might change in the future, so just make sure you check the departure screen at the bus platform so you know you have the right platform for the bus. The final destination for the bus is Emmerich, what is also not too far away from the Dutch border, and from where on you also find direct trains from and to the Netherlands. However, we will only be taking this bus as far as Kleve. And this is our bus coming in, with big ads that it has free Wi-Fi. Well, I didn't test that. You can use a Dutch public transport smart card, so OV chip card, or a contactless payment card for using this bus. In that situation you pay the full fare. And when it comes to this, I was a bit shocked because this set me back around a little more than €10 on this route. When I looked up for some more information, and this is the current rate at the moment I recorded this, you pay 18.6 cents per kilometer for the Dutch section of this bus and 40.8 cents per kilometer on the German section. However, on the German section you do find many regional offers as well, like the VRR offers. But, well, I'm not digging into that. But there are lots of discounts as well. But if you take this bus just in a very rare occasion like me, you just basically pay the full fare. What once again set me back a little more than €10 for a journey that's less than 45 minutes. The bus will go through the city center of Nijmegen and will be on the regional road pretty soon after that. It doesn't take long before we cross the border into Germany, and that's right over here. This used to be a hard border, now it's in the Schengen area. There might be, well, checks every now and then. But on the right hand side, if I turn the camera in a bit, you can still see the old buildings for the customs. The custom formalities took place back in the days over here. Now they still might check passports every now and then as well, so take this in account. Basically you always need a valid travel document, no matter if you cross a border or not. For now I just stop talking, show you some views from the bus, and I'll be back with you at the moment the bus is arriving at the railway station of Kleve, where I show you the station, the train and the views from the train from Kleve and Düsseldorf. Here our bus is arriving at the railway station of Kleve. With the current timetable, you have 10 minutes before the bus is arriving and the train is departing. So if you really have a tight connection and you need to be on time in Düsseldorf, I really advise you to take at least one bus earlier. This way you make sure you don't miss that connection. The railway station of Kleve has quite a large bus stop, and there's lots of information about departing buses on screens all over. There's also a vending machine to buy some tickets, but I have to say the infrastructure to buy your train tickets and also bus tickets online is rather good as well. Although for the specific bus we had, if you want to buy an international ticket online, that's a little bit difficult. You will find 2 platforms and also 2 tracks over here, but as far as I understood, track and platform 1 are mainly being used, and that's super convenient. You basically hop from the bus into the train. Within the main railway station building there was also something like a ticket and information office, but it was closed when I recorded this on a Sunday. Apart from that, here on the right there's also something like a restaurant or cafeteria, but it was also closed when I recorded this part on Sunday. For now, let's move on to our train for today. Today we'll be traveling on line RE10, that's being operated by the Rhein-Ruhr-Bahn, a small regional company. That's basically a subsidiary of a very big company, Transdev. The train was not really clean, as you could see over here, what was a bit pity when I recorded the views from the train. These trains are also known as German Rail Class 648. And these are, well, maybe better known as the Coradia Lind trains. They're very good regional diesel-powered trains. I mean, it's a very regional train, so don't expect too much. Basic icons at the side of the train do indicate what facilities can be found where and what class is where. There's a small section of first class on these trains. And apart from the number 1, an extra yellow stripe above the window does exactly indicate where you will find the first class. For now, let's hop on board of this train. Really a pity to see that the outside was so dirty. Let's start off with the first class. Even though traveling in first class doesn't make a whole big difference, there, well, maybe you have a little bit more leg room and you find rather big tables between the seats. I think that's basically it. Also for luggage, don't miss out on the backends between the seats. And obviously you find the overhead luggage racks, although I have to say the overhead luggage racks were not that spacious on board of this specific train. Well, it's not a big deal, it's a commuter train after all, but still having a bit more space for luggage would be nice. Over here you find lots of folding seats where you can store luggage as well, but this is mainly meant for bikes. Near both entrance doors there are quite some folding seats actually. Per train set there's 1 toilet, and because there's only 1 toilet per train set, this is also automatically a bigger accessible toilet. I'll show you in a bit. Something you find a lot in Germany is that you find some paper information about the trains close to the entrance doors. And once again, this is a good regional train, but really don't expect too much. The line maps of the VRR, what is the kind of public transportation organization within this area, are located above the entrance doors. And this here is the toilet. Oh, this is definitely not the newest train, that's for sure. Now let's do a seat review of the standard class seats. The leg room is okay. It's for a regional train, it's good. But I wouldn't spend more than 1.5 hours on board of these trains. That's basically it. I mean, there's not that much here. Litter bins are located at the vestibules, and at the moment you have the seats facing each other at the side. Near the window there's a small table and a litter bin is right under that. There are no power sockets and no free Wi-Fi on board of this train. This train has some buttons for stops on request, even though there are no stops on request during this ride. However, these trains are designed to serve mainly less dense populated areas. And there you might have some stations that might need stops on request. Well, for now I just show you the views I had from the train between Kleve, or Kleve if I pronounce it in German, to Düsseldorf. From the rather dirty train windows. I'll get back to you at the very end of this video. that's it on board of this train from Kleve in German to Düsseldorf, and from Nijmegen to Kleve by bus I mean. It's a good connection at the moment. There are construction works, and this is something you should definitely take into account. If you live in Nijmegen, this might be a good way to travel to Düsseldorf as well, although I'm not really sure about that. I hope you liked this video, or this has been helpful to you. If so, please give me a thumbs up, I really appreciate that. If you have some questions, feedback, comments, let me know in the comment section. Feel free to leave a comment, of course, because more comments is also influencing the algorithm in a positive way. And if you like to see more trip reports about more sustainable ways of transportation, the main focus for this channel is long distance and or international traveling. Well, we definitely had an international connection. Then hit that subscribe button if you haven't done this already. I mean, you can always unsubscribe if you don't like it. After all, it's free. You can also support this channel financially. Then you become a member. You can find more below below this video. But for now, I talk way too much. That's it for this video. See you on the next one. And before we really end up this video, one last thing.
If you're interested in other videos, you can find them on this channel, and in the description of this video you find a link to a map where you can find all videos as well. See you on the next video.